السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Salat. Salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد إن أصدق حديث كتاب الله عز وجل وأحسن هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة في الإسلام بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jal. We praise Him and we extol Him and we thank Allah Azza wa Jal for this blessed opportunity to be of those who are of the Sa'imeen wa Sa'imat, those who are fasting, of the male and the females. Nasr Allah al-Azim, Rabb al-Arsh al-Kareem, and yuwaffiqana. May Allah Azza wa Jal, we ask Allah, the one who is the master of the glorious throne and the master and the controller of his arsh, that he gives us the tawfiq. He gives us all the ability to continue our fast by doing those deeds while we're fasting that Allah loves and is pleased with. Really, the most truthful of speech is the book of Allah, and the finest guidance that of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the most evil of affairs are the newly invented ones, bid'ah. And every bid'ah is a going astray. And every going astray leads to the hellfire. Nasal al-afiyah. Today, my dear Salam Iman, as we all know, we've passed now the first week of Ramadan. Alhamd. And those of us who are fasting know that this month goes very quickly. So we have to try our best to maximize the benefits of this month. But today, inshallah, bidnallah, I'd like to speak about a very important subject which is directly connected to our hearts. So inshallah, I'd like us to pay attention and try and understand and grasp the meaning and the point behind what we're saying. And the tawfiq lies with Allah Tabarak Ta'ala. Today I want to speak about the importance of doing deeds with muhabba, with love for Allah Azza wa Jal. Why I'm saying this is because a lot of times we get stuck in our mundane, routine practices of Islam. And this happens to everybody, that they'll be doing things routinely and they lose that muhabba. The real meaning behind what they're doing is to gain the good pleasure of Allah, Ridwan Allah Ta'ala. So this is something which can happen to anyone, that we lose the focus that we're worshiping Allah so as to get a connection with Allah, so as to draw nearer to Allah through our worship. All of this is the purpose and the goal and the hadith behind our worship, that we get the love of Allah Azza wa Jal in our hearts. So a lot of us have become routine in our acts of ibadah. And this is something which is very, very detrimental to the level of love which is to be developed through our worship to Allah Azza wa Jal. And there's many aspects of worship that are too many to enumerate. But Noble Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he says that al-ibadah, worship, ismun jami'. It is a comprehensive term that includes everything that Allah loves and is pleased with, starting with the 5 pillars of Islam. So why today, out of all days that I've chosen this topic, is because we've now finished the first leg of the race in this blessed month of Ramadan. And now a lot of us have become used to fasting. A lot of us were apprehensive at the beginning of Ramadan, and now that we fasted a few days, our bodies now become used to the feeling of not eating and drinking for a certain amount of time. But I don't want us to lose focus that there's a higher relevance to fasting. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he alluded to this when he said in the hadith that there are many people who will fast, and the only thing that they'll get from their fasting is a loss of food and drink, or hunger and thirst. And there are many people who pray at night, and the only thing they get is tiredness in their legs and in their back. That's it. So there is something that is missing in our ibadah. If when we're doing these things, we're not feeling the love, or we're doing it out of routine, we're doing it routinely, then the whole purpose behind our ibadah is lost. Nasallallahu al-afiyah. So this thing called love or muhabbat is something which people have been searching for and trying to find the definition for centuries. And we know that many people, they have chosen not to be married, men and women. Talking about men and women, Muslim, non-Muslim. Why? Because they are looking so critically at that person or that potential spouse. Because nowadays, the people are glued to social media, and those celebrities on social media, or those fake celebrities who have so many hits or followers or likes, so they're now glued to these individuals, so it's hard for them to find a suitable mate or companion. So let me start with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said a very comprehensive dua. He said, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik, O ala ta'atik, O kama qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, O turner of hearts, keep my heart turned on your deen, on your religious way of life, or on your obedience. This is something that is very important, my dear Prophet ﷺ, in Iman. And the Prophet ﷺ, he also alluded to this, and we're speaking about muhabbat, that in our body, he said there's a small piece of meat, madgha, a small piece of flesh, meat in our bodies. إذا صلحت صلح جسم كله. إذا فسدت فسد جسم كله. Allah he will qalb. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said there's a small piece of meat in our bodies. If it is good, then our whole body will be good. If it is corrupt, then our whole body will become corrupt. Isn't it the heart? So, my dear Salam Iman, we should not allow ourselves to be taken away by emotion or false types of love. We should not allow our heartstrings to be pulled in any which direction. We have to pray and ask Allah to keep our hearts turned towards His obedience and attached towards His obedience. And when we're doing the obedience to Allah, the ibadat and those good things, sadaqat, praying at night, qiyam al-layl, taraweeh, fasting, and so on and so forth, that we're doing these deeds with muhabbat. We cannot lose that. This is one of the main objectives behind doing this ibadah. In Ramadan, we do extra acts of ibadah. We do more ibadah so as to become accustomed to it other than Ramadan, outside of Ramadan. And this is a subject which has been mentioned in the books of hadith. In every chapter, you'll find in the books of hadith talking about the heart softening, the heart melting. And the ulama, Rabbaniyin, the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and Ahl Hadith, they spoke about the importance of keeping your heart sound. For example, the doctor, the tabib of the hearts, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, he has also mentioned in his book, he has a very, very extensive research on the amrad of the heart, the diseases of the heart, in his book titled Al-Da wa Dawa, the sickness and the cure. Also, it is called Al-Jawab al-Kafi liman sa'ala da wa shafi, the complete answer for those who are asking about the sickness and its cure. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, listen very closely what the noble scholar Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, the doctor, the Salafi doctor of the hearts, he said that love, muhabbat, is of 4 types. He said that there are 4 types of love that we must be able to distinguish from each other. And whoever is not able to distinguish between them has indeed gone astray. The first type of love, which is shared between all of us, meaning Muslim and non-Muslim, Yahud and Nasara specifically, is the love of Allah. The first type of love that we must have is the love of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala. The second type of love is to love that what Allah loves. The third type of love is that we love for the sake of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala. And the fourth and final type of love is that to direct one's love to others besides Allah, along with Allah. And then the Noble Sheikh, he mentions a 5th type of love, which is not the subject of our discussion. He mentioned a hub tabi'i, a natural type of love, that a person loves their food, they love their drink, when they are thirsty, they love, like a parent loves their child, or a husband and wife, they love each other. And these are what you call hub tabi'i, or you have khawf tabi'i, which is a person would be afraid of a lion. This is natural for a person to fear a ferocious animal. It is natural for us to love food when we see it, especially when we're hungry, or drink, and so on and so forth. Unless these things distract us from the remembrance of Allah. End of quote. So, in this regard, there's a noble hadith on the Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Bukhari. If we want to understand where this love is originating from, where this love is coming, where is it springing from, we all believe that the love is springing forth from our hearts. But Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who puts that love into our hearts. Many of us know that in other Muslim countries and cultures that they do a thing called arranged marriages. And alhamdulillah, they have lasted very long, over the decades. People have been married through not even knowing the person or seeing them or looking at their social profile and following them on Facebook or Instagram or any of those things. But yet, they meet for the first time and they're married for many years. They have children for many years. Arranged marriages work because Allah is the one who puts the muhabbat between those people who want to be obedient to him. They want to get married to preserve their chastity. So there's a hadith, and it's for Abu Hurairah anhu. It's a hadith Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, listen very closely. إِذَا حَبَّ اللَّهُ الْعَبْدِ نَادَى جِبْرِيلٌ. If Allah Tabarak Ta'ala loves a slave of his, he calls the archangel Jibreel. And he says, إِنِّي قَدْ حَبْتُ فُلَانْ فَحِبُّهُ فَيُنَادَى فِي سَمَاءِ. He says, verily, I love so-and-so, so love him. And then Jibreel, he makes a proclamation in the heavens saying that Allah, in Allah yuhibbu fulan fa yuhibbu, that Allah loves so-and-so, so you must love him. And then that muhabbat yunazzal ila ahlil ard. That love that has been established in the heavens, it comes down into the hearts of the people on this earth. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Inna dhalik, he said that this is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal. فَذَلِكَ قَوْلُ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَيَجْعَلُهُ الرَّحْمَنُ وَدًّا. Those who believe and they do good deeds, then the Most Merciful will put love in between their hearts. So this, my dear Salam and Iman, is just a little glimpse at where this love is originating from. Where this love is originating from. Because as Muslims, we have to understand that there are so many things that are just superficial, that they lack substance. When we do things, we should try our best to remember why we're doing it. What is the beginning point? Why are we doing these things? For the sake of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala. Why are we doing this? And how are we doing it? Is this thing that we're doing, is it in accordance with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? Because everybody will say that they're doing it fi sabilillah. But is this thing loved by Allah? Does Allah like this thing? Does Allah love this thing? And is it sanctioned by the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ? So we have to be very careful when we're doing something and we're habitual in it. Because one of the main indicators, and I say this with any tongue-in-cheek, one of the main indicators of false love is a love which is based on nationalism or tribalism or race or color. We have to understand that when we do things as if we're blind. We do not see any of those things. Most people, naturally, they love themselves. Most people, they love their food. They love their drink. This is something which we can't take away. This is something that is based and founded in our identity. We identify with certain cultures and certain foods. But the problem is, when we give those likes preference over the things that Allah loves and the things that Allah hates, when we try and give those cultural references Islamic names, because we grew up seeing Muslims doing these things, now we want to say that these things are Islamic. So we have to be able to make a clear distinction between that which is cultural and that which is Islamic. I want to just make that thing clear. One day, when the Prophet ﷺ, this hadith is sahih, we might have all heard this hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ was walking with Umar ibn Khattab, and he was holding his hand, and Umar ibn Khattab, he said to the Prophet ﷺ, O Messenger of Allah, inni hibbuk, verily I love you. The Prophet ﷺ, he asked him, he said, do you love me more than yourself? He says, I love you more than anything except myself. I love you more than anything else in this world except myself. The Prophet ﷺ said, not until I am more beloved to you than yourself. Umar Khattab, it didn't take him more than a moment to think about that. And he says, but right now, Ya Rasulullah, wallahi, I love you even more than my own self. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-an, Ya Umar, Al-an. Now you've got the point, oh Umar, now you've got the point. When we're speaking about love, some of us become blind And we claim that we love our children so much that we say, let them sleep. They don't have to pray. Let them go to school. Let them wake up at 9, 8 o'clock and go to school. They don't have to pray. This is not love. This is spoiling the children. You have to train the children. The Prophet ﷺ instructed us in a very clear hadith. And we all know this hadith, or we all should know this hadith. Instruct the children to pray by the age of 7. So that means that before the age of 7, they should have been taught Surah Al-Fatiha, maybe Juz Amma, and many other ways of how to pray, the sunnah of praying, where to pray, how to put the hand, what are the things to recite, and so on and so forth. And then instruct them, teach them that they must pray by 7, and beat them by 10, and separate them in the bed. So we have to understand these things. We have to understand these things. If we want to develop the love in our children, then not telling them to pray is not love. This is not love. Not reminding them to pray is not love. And there's a very important ayah that the Salaf, they would call the ayah of imtihan. For those of us who claim to love Allah and His Rasul. He says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحِبْبُكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. قُلْ أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, say to those people who claim to love Allah, follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then Allah will love you, and then Allah will forgive you of your sins. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, قُلْ أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Obey Allah and His Messenger. فِإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْكَافِرِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, after that, saying that if we love Allah, if we claim to love Allah, then follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah will love you and He'll forgive you your sins. And then Allah repeats again after that, follow Allah, ati Allah wa rasuluh, obey Allah and His Messenger. If they turn away, then Allah does not love the disbelievers. So if we want to get the love of Allah through our amal salihah, then it can come through no other way than following the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The true love is found in following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. If those of us who are not married and we're seeking a spouse, look for that person who is following the sunnah, who has a love of the sunnah, who loves to pray and practice the sunnah, and there's many aspects of the sunnah. Look for those things in that person. Remember the Prophet ﷺ's hadith is sahih, for Abu Hurairah anhu, Sahih Muslim, Bukhari and Muslim, that the Prophet said that, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحبون لأخي ما يحبون لنفسه. None of you truly believes until he loves for his brother that which he loves for himself. Allahu Akbar. So how is it that we're going to develop this love in our hearts until we look at our brother like ourselves? How is it that we're going to develop, I repeat myself, the love amongst us in our hearts when we see our brother struggling or is in need, and we overlook him? We say, may Allah make it easy. All of us know somebody. If we cannot, we must find somebody to help out the brother situation. And what do we love for ourselves? We all love the best of the best for ourselves, but we should also love that for our brother. There's also a Sahih narration, Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, and for Abdullah bin Salam. And this was a Jewish rabbi scholar in Medina. He said, from the first words, he said, when the Prophet ﷺ, let me narrate the hadith. When the Prophet ﷺ entered into Medina, the people started to raise their voice and sing, Rasulullah, Qad ja Rasulullah, Qad ja Rasulullah, Qad ja Rasulullah. The Messenger of Allah has come, the Messenger of Allah has come, the Messenger of Allah has come. And he said, Abdullah bin Salam, he made it very clear how he's attentive. He mentioned it 3 times. He said the people said that 3 times. And he said, I was one of the first people to come. And I climbed up into a tree, and I had a very good look at the face of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That time, he was a Jewish rabbi, scholar, well known in Medina, who knew the signs of prophethood. He was not a Muslim. He climbed up into a tree, and he had a very good look at the face of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said to himself, he said, this is not the face of a liar. This is not the face of a liar. And he said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, listen to me very closely. He said, O people, Afshi salam, spread peace, spread the greetings of salam amongst yourself. At'imu ta'am, feed people. Salli liyal wa nas nayam. Pray at night when people are asleep. And you will enter into paradise with peace and tranquility. So my dear Salam Niman, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make it easy for us, now that we've passed this first leg of the race in the blessed month of Ramadan, to do these good deeds with love and hoping for Allah Azza wa Jal's reward. And may Allah Azza wa Jal give us the tawfiq to continuously do these deeds throughout the rest of the year. Ameen, ameen, ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله وأتوب إليه. Bismillah, salatu salam rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sallam tabihuda wa ba'd. These brothers come forward, inshallah, make room for the people coming in. Please come, there's other brothers who want to come in, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Come forward. Come forward, please, inshallah. Make room for the people coming in. Jazakumullah khair. There's also another hadith, and for Abdullah ibn Amr ibn As, who said that he heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that whoever would love to be saved from hell and enter into paradise, then ta'awun, deal with the people like how they would want to be treated. This is one of the golden rules of life. Do unto others as you'd want done unto you. Allahu Akbar. Abu Hurairah anhu has narrated from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who said that Allah said, "Aina mutahabbina bi jalali, al-yawma yadhillu tahta dhill la dhilla illa dhill." Where are those who love one another for my sake? Where are those who love one another fi sabili, for the sake of Allah? This day I'm going to shade you, give you a shade on the day when there will be no shade except my shade. Allahu Akbar. Finally, my dear Salam Iman, we know how Allah Azza wa Jal has spoken and mentioned about Ibrahim Khalil in his book. Allah Azza wa Jal says, فَتَخَذَ Ibrahim Khalil, that Allah has taken Ibrahim as the nearest and closest of friends. And the Prophet, there's also a hadith that the Prophet said that, in Allah تَخَذِنِي خَلِيلًا كَمَا تَخَذِ Ibrahim Khalila, أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, that verily Allah had taken me as a close friend, as he has taken Ibrahim as a close friend. So this is a clear indication that we should follow their path. We should follow their code of conduct. If we want to get that mahabbat between us, between our family, between our friends, so we can find that love in our everyday ibadat. When we're giving sadaqat, we don't give with reluctancy. We're doing it with mahabbat. We're feeding the people with love. We're not asking for anything. La yasaluhum jazaan wa la shakuran. Inma nut'imukum liwajhillah. We're not asking for any payment. We're not asking for any thanks. We're only doing this for the sake of Allah. Liwajhillah tabarak ta'ala. So as we mentioned at the beginning of our khutbah, we have to be able to distinguish between real love, genuine love, and fake and phony love. Real love, it can only come through commitment. Real love can only come through commitment. And this has to start with us. We have become now so selfish and self-centered that we expect everyone else to do so much, and then we say, thank you, you've done your part. No, we have to do our part first. We want love, we have to be the one to initiate that love. We expect from everybody to show us, but we have to be the ones to initiate it. False love, my dear Salam Niman, lacks commitment. And it is a thing which is usually based on color, on nationalism, on tribalism. This is the type of love that will not help us in the next life. It may help us in this life to get what we want in this life, but will do nothing for us in the next life. And it may be a cause of humiliation in the next life. So we have to understand that if we love Allah, and if Allah loves us, one of the signs of the love upon us is that, the love of Allah upon us, is that we love the people of the Sunnah. That we love to do things without being asked and begged and pleaded to do things. We do things very fast. We do things with muhabbat in our hearts. So may Allah Azza wa Jal help us to be of those who are true lovers for the sake of Allah. We love each other. We want to be mutahabina, li jalalillah Azza wa Jal. We want to be those who love each other for the sake of Allah, for Allah's might and grandeur and His greatness. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those. And this is not going to come overnight. It's going to come with commitment. It's going to come with commitment. We have to be committed to this path. We have to be committed to practicing the Sunnah. We have to be committed to doing these things. And we have to pray and ask Allah to give us the tawfiq. Give us that tawfiq, that we're interacting with each other with muhabbat. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us the tawfiq and guide us to do those things which Allah loves and is pleased with. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa tasliman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. Aqim as-salat.